Tell me if there is anything that you notice or anything that stands out to you in this place.
It's almost winding downward into a forest. Mm. And the trees are creating a canopy over the walkway through the forest.
Beautiful. Do you feel like in this place that you can move towards that forest or that canopy of trees?
Mm. It's very familiar.
Allow yourself to move forward in this scene. Let's see where you go, what you
To my
notice.
favorite trees. When I
Tell me
talk to
about
the
those trees.
trees, I talk to them. Mm. I thank them for being here and doing the work that they do for us so that we can inhabit this planet, that their mitochondria stabilizes Gaia for the insects and for the birds, that keeps our ecosystem in balance.
Tell me more about the role of the trees and how they assist us.
Their network goes deep down into the earth and it covers our planet. And they send messages throughout. And when we allow ourselves to sit and be with the trees, they give us messages and they allow us to sometimes see or at least feel the elementals that are there to support the foliage and their growth and their seeds and the spreading of life to sustain us.
How is it that we can begin to connect with trees more to receive those messages? How do we establish that connection?
Can sit by them and just lean against it and close your eyes and listen to the songs that they sing as their leaves flutter. They're singing, they're making music for us. They are swaying with the wind, and they're graceful and joyous in just being here. And that we need to learn as human beings to also be like trees, that we become strong and strengthen our roots and affirm that we are a part of this planet. We are not separate from it. And to also be flexible, to move with the wind. And if we have a strong root system, that we don't topple over.
Mhm.
Yeah. That our roots are so strong that if we are properly connected with Source, with our earth, that we can withstand anything. And we have the interconnectedness of the whole root system that helps to support us and carry us.
Beautiful. And so What is Maya's connection with the trees?
Um, Maya likes to talk with the elementals, and she gives daily gratitude for what surrounds her in this countryside, all the forests, the meadows, the growing of the vegetables, and being able to go and pick the fruits from the trees and pick up the nuts from the ground. And her connection with nature is very deep.
Where does that come from? Does she have specific lifetimes where she's had that deep connection with nature? What can you share with
Oh,
her?
yes.
Mhm.
Yes, she feels that connection for many lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes, as she's worked with plants and has been a healer with plants and connected with using the plant energy. I see plants hanging and drying in bottles of potions and things that bring the body back into balance.
Wonderful. And so you said that she has a connection with the elementals. What can you share with her about her connection?
Oh, my goodness, she sees them all the time. They're dancing about in her, on her in her terrace garden, and everything just flourishes. She almost has, she does have too much. It grows so abundantly that she's always giving her crops to her neighbors and sharing in her bounty. And it's the
Wonderful.
elementals that support this growth.
Mm. And so, where does that connection come from? Is that also lifetimes being connected with the elementals?
Yes.
What can you share with her about that?
Well, she has she's worked with fairies, and she could talk with fairies, and the fairies would teach her what the plants can heal and what they can what they can be used for.
So, she feels like when she's doing her healing work that she connects with the elementals or those beings assisting her in the work that she does.
Not today. No, no. Her team of guides are helping her more with the work she does in this lifetime.
I see. Tell her about her team of guides. What does she need to know about them?
They laugh at her and they laugh with her. And not so long ago, she had an incident where she experienced their laughter when she lost her car keys whilst in Germany and had no way to get back home. And she stood in the middle of the sidewalk and looked up to the heavens and said, she said she got their message to slow down, that she was moving too quickly, and she promised she would behave. And now would they please show her where her car keys were? And they laughed at her and she laughed with them.
And did she find her car keys after that?
No.
So what was the message? Was it to slow down, or what was that
Yes,
message they were
and it
trying
would
to
have been
send?
too easy. Would have been too easy to just have her find her keys. She had to go through the whole process, the whole disruption of her schedule for that day, to call a tow truck, to lift the vehicle on the truck, to um, find a way to get home from across the borders. And yeah, the message had to come through a little bit harder this time because she didn't listen last time.
Mm. So, what is it that her guides want her to know about slowing down today? What's important for her to know about that?
Well, she knows this and she will voice it, but to voice it and to actually practice it are two different things. And so they've actually had to go one step farther. And her recent illness was exactly that, which was right after the car key incident. And she did promise she would not put anything else in her schedule for the rest of the year. She would leave her schedule as it is now and not try to uh, squeeze, force something in, and make herself too thin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But we all had to make her stop. For several weeks, she had to stop.
Tell her how it affects her when she is trying to do too much.
She can't hear us. She can't hear any of us because she's just go, 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 go. And if you're too busy revving up the engine of the Corvette or the Porsche, you don't hear the inner voice over this engine. Mm-hmm.
So tell her the best way that she can begin to connect with you even more. What does she need to know?
Get an old timer. Yes, an old
Yeah.
timer. Slow
Old
down.
timer, slow down. Very good. So, what else does she need to know or understand about her connection to nature? How she can utilize it in her work or in her life? It's important to know.
Mm. She's got her connection very well in grasp. Uh, she's using these die Verknüpfung, the connection. She knows how to use the connection, and she just needs to do it a bit more often than she does.
And she says she feels like she has the strongest connection when she's just outside in her garden. Is that the best place for her to hear you?
Not only, no. We have good conversations as she's going into her lucid dreaming state before going into her theta. We have good communion. We have good energetic rapport, and the connection is good, and it's unadulterated. It's open. It's good.
Beautiful. So, is there anything that you can share with her about the team of guides that's around her? Are there any specific guides that are working with her at this time?
Well, she has her life guide who is constantly working on her to heal her in the night and to bring soothing and calming and relaxation. She has a specific uh, guide for channeling who she's having a little bit of difficulty adjusting to the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And the cerebellum, there's pressure in the cerebellum because they haven't found the right frequency together yet. But it's a matter of practice, and they will find it. They just need to keep working together.
Mm-hmm. So, if this guide just has a very high frequency when she's trying to channel and connect?
Yes, because he channels a group. And so the frequency, if you imagine it is not the frequency of only one spirit, but that of the many. And so the vibration of the one would be only this small,
Mm-hmm.
but the vibration of the many is this. And to bring that into the human body creates dissonance, and it on the cellular level it can be painful. And she experienced this when she first started to channel, and she learned to work with the energy and to manage it. And it most easily adjusts when she's at peace within herself. The more she's centered here, and when her third eye is properly in alignment, her cerebellum is not of such intense pain. And so it would be helpful to do tuning forks to tune to the vibration of her third eye chakra, and to learn how to accept the vibration into the physical and the bioenergetic field of the body.
So, she could use a tuning fork in that area, and that will assist her in shifting the frequency of the third eye. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
196 hertz.
Very good. And is there anything that we can do in this session to assist that third eye? Can we bring in some energy? Will that help to shift that frequency as well?
It's done.
Beautiful. Very good. So tell her a little bit more about her ability to channel. She's practicing, but maybe not doing it quite as often as she'd like. What does she need to know about that?
Mm. Well, it's very simple, actually. She's not fully doing the work that she is meant to be doing. She has one foot in this reality and one foot in her altered state of consciousness. And not until she leaves this reality and moves completely to this side will she be able to fully incorporate and allow this to come through, because then she will be living every day in this state of being. And this is approximately 2 to 3 years away still. And yeah,
2 to 3 years for her to be fully immersed in a higher dimension. Is that what you
yes.
mean? Okay. And so, what can she do at this time to help her progress in that direction and stay out of these lower dimensions?
Mm. The more that she facilitates journey work and is working with waking other people up, and she's doing this on a daily basis, even in this world, she brings much healing and much light to those in corporate world,
Mm.
and she is softening them and she's teaching them through her way of being and perceiving. And so she's still moving forward, but ultimately she's not meant to be here. She's meant to be over here. And mm, that is with their big project. That's when it will come together for them and for her.
Tell her a little bit about this big project that she's working on. She's been in a place of trusting that everything is unfolding in perfect divine time. What does she need to know about this project?
We don't feel so confident about the location, that she has insight that actually this location, due to the people in this village, could potentially hinder. The project will happen regardless, but it may not move as swiftly as another location that we would prefer, we would no, we would advise to open up, not be too focused on this one property, but to look at other properties as well. That there's actually something, there's another property that's waiting for her that would be more optimal and would be more supportive for the type of work that they do.
So do you feel like this property that's a better suited, will that come into her reality soon? Or what does she need to know?
In the human timeline, it would be maybe 3 to 4 months, and then she will find it.
Very good. And what can you tell her about this facility that she wants to create in this community? What does she need to know about that?
It's actually protected by the black dragon. And we see the dragon wrapped around the property with an enclosed bubble of protection that keeps them safe and from harm, and that it's only the purest of energy that takes place within this realm.
Beautiful. Tell her about her connection with this black dragon.
Mm. It's not her connection specifically.
Okay.
It is the connection to the location that the dragon protects and helps to cultivate the awakening process by keeping purity. So automatically those that are working within this facility, this Bowen house, they will automatically be raised in above the fifth dimension. They'll move in to the much higher realms and be working on extremely high frequencies.
Beautiful. And is that all because of that location, because of the energy that location holds?
Hmm. Well, it's actually a culmination of many factors. It is the culmination of the six people, the location, and the intention of all six, that they work together as a unit and they raise each other, and the rest of their teams are here to push them up and to
Mm,
raise those vibrations to do the work that they're here to do.
beautiful. So, this group that's coming together to create this project, anything that she needs to know or understand about the connections between them?
The connections are clear. Mm, there will be some there will be some struggles in the beginning to find common ground in visions of what this facility should look like, what they have. They understand the vibration. All of them understand the vibration. But there's one person who has a specific idea of what it should look like in terms of decoration. I'm sorry, I can't put it into words.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. I think that was an excellent explanation. So, is there anything else that you'd like to share with her today about this project? Anything that will help her in creating it?
It's coming. Don't worry. Keep trusting. You're fine. You have nothing to worry about. You're on a good way.
What about her purpose for the remainder of this life? What's the most important thing for her to know?
Passing on the knowledge, not only to the next, but the next and the next generations, to be the curandera, to be the godmother to the multiple generations, to be the storyteller, to pass along the work through applying the storytelling to these generations, that even the young ones can understand, and to plant these seeds in their hearts. They may not, she's dancing with a lot of children. They're forming like a snake, yeah, and they're just flowing. And then they flow under each other and they go through each other. And she's teaching them that life is not always a straight path, but that it moves and it flexes and it goes under and in between. And the children will understand from planting the seeds, from these lessons of joy, that bring laughter to their faces, that they will remember as they remember later in their lives, and the lights go off and their vibrations get raised. So to pass on to the generations with joy and with fun.
Wonderful. Very good. And she wants to know a little bit more about her spiritual gifts. What would you tell her about that?
Stop being so silly.
She has a long list of them, doesn't she?
You know, that's part of the human problem.
Mm.
Yeah. The human form, the human would like validation to a certain extent, yet she already knows.
She does, doesn't she?
Oh yeah.
She's pretty gifted, this one.
She came in with a lot of learnings. She has lived thousands and thousands of lifetimes, and her lessons have been extreme in some of them, and it was in order to discomfort coming into the shoulders at this moment,
Mm-hmm.
extreme lessons of hardship, and to attain levels of forgiveness, of understanding, of empathy, to be able to truly heal and love and let go of these human-made fears, if you will.
Very good. I'd like to take a look at that discomfort in the shoulders. I want you just to tune in and connect with that sensation or that energy that we're feeling in the shoulders. And ask the higher self to identify what that is that she's feeling.
Responsibility.
Okay.
Responsibility.
And is that connected to this lifetime or those past lifetimes or a combination?
This lifetime.
Where does that feeling of responsibility come from? Where did that start in this life?
To break the genetic cycles, the old programming. She's very aware that people are plugged into programming and conditioning with thousands and thousands of plugs, and the responsibility of teaching people to unplug as many of those as possible and to peel back these layers of conditioning and get back to the source light, and to understand that we are more spirit than we are human, and to connect to that spirit and to work in that vibration and to be in that vibration and to not lose this connection. She knows how important this is, and it's a burden she carries, and she willingly put her hand up and said, I choose to carry that burden, and I choose to be one of the light workers.
So, what can she do moving forward to continue to do this beautiful work that she's doing, but without carrying such a burden, such a weight on her shoulders? What does she need to know?
That we love her and we support her, and that she doesn't need to carry this alone. And as her family unit over the next months reunites and connects, and some of the responsibilities that she now solely carries will shift and be dispersed among others, it will ease her pressure.
Wonderful. And I would like to bring in just a beautiful, beautiful light right there in the shoulders with the intention of releasing some of that heavy energy. I want you just to focus there on the shoulders. I'm going to ask all of the beautiful guides and angels that are with us today to begin to channel in a beautiful white light energy right there into the shoulders with the intention of releasing some of that responsibility, some of that heaviness that you've been carrying, feeling as if you have to take it all upon yourself, and just releasing that energy, knowing now that you're about to step into a time where all of that become a little lighter, a little easier for you. Feel that beautiful energy just flow in with the intention of transmuting that heavy energy. We're just going to allow that energy to drain and release out of the body. We can give that back to Gaia. Allow her to transmute those energies into love and light. Beautiful. do while we're working on the body. Let's go ahead, because we came in at the beginning and she didn't find anything that was standing out in the body. I'm going to ask the higher self and the beautiful guides with us today to do a scan of the body. Let me know if there's anywhere that we need to focus on specifically for healing today. Tell me what you find.
The issue with the lungs, it's not from this lifetime. It's from a previous life where she was in her home and her home was burned because she was accused of being a witch. And she died from the swallowing the smoke, and that has come forward with her.
Let's do a little healing around that lifetime. So I want you to either bring in a visual of that life or just simply imagine that we are back in that lifetime. So just traveling back through space and time, back to that lifetime where you were in that home and you were burned for being a witch. And I want you to visualize that home in any way that it comes to you. We're going to wrap the powerful white light of Source around that home, placing a beautiful pyramid of white light over that home for the purpose of protection. And that white light is incredibly powerful and will protect you from those who wish to do you harm. And so, as we focus on that scene, that last day of your life in that lifetime of the witch, we're going to reframe that scene. We're going to pour that beautiful white light all over that home. And as that fire begins to burn and rage within the home, that white light acts as a beautiful liquid water and just transmutes and puts out that fire. And I want you to breathe in and breathe that light into the body, into that body, into that life. We're going to breathe that down into the lungs. And that white light begins to coat those lungs, infusing them with powerful source light energy and healing any damage that was done in that lifetime, returning those lungs back to perfection. Just bring that beautiful light all the way down the body. So I want to understand a little bit more about that lifetime. What was it in that lifetime that she was doing? What type of was she practicing in that life?
She was making tinctures and potions and raising acres and acres of herbs, and she was actually quite happy in her little countryside home. And people would come to her from far and wide who believed and trusted in her abilities. And that was when she worked with the elementals, and they would talk to her and tell her what each specific person needed, and she would mix the concoction for them.
What was it in that lifetime? Because we know there were many who were burned or killed for those types of things. What was it that the people who did this, what was the fear that they had?
Too much power.
Mm.
She had too much power. And the threat of pulling people away from the church, and that she was a threat to the church.
So let's just focus on those lungs in this life, bringing in that beautiful source light. I want you to really focus in on those lungs for healing. I'm going to ask the guides and the higher self to assist, cleansing away any remaining residue, any energies left behind by that life. We want those lungs to become nice and healed. I want you to see them in the body becoming so bright, so full of light. I want you to feel that energy flow in, and we are releasing any density. We are releasing any heavy energies. We are letting that go. That lifetime is no longer serving us. So I'm going to ask the guides to continue to work on healing the lungs. And I want to ask about, she's been struggling to stop smoking in this life. She gets about to that point, and then she loses that willpower. What does she need to know? What can she do to help her quit?
Smoking is the connection between her and her father. They would sit over coffee and have a cigarette, and it was the times when the two of them would plan projects and talk about life and alien beings and an earth without borders and the higher realms. And her smoking her cigarettes keeps her connected to him. And she doesn't, and she likes that connection, but she must remember that she doesn't need the cigarettes to connect with her father.
And does he have any messages that he'd like to bring through for her today?
Don't try so hard.
What does she try too hard at?
Something that she will never get, and that is the approval of her mother. It won't work. It's a lost cause. Let it go.
Help us to understand, or help Maya to understand a little bit more about her relationship with her mother.
She understands that, and she is correct, that she is perfecting forgiveness. And it's been a lifelong lesson. And with every encounter over the years with her mother, it brings her to yet another level of forgiveness, of letting go, of not harboring. But it's very difficult for her to let go because it's a deep-seated wound. And we're not sure We're not sure if she will be able to completely let that go. Her mother has hurt her terribly in this lifetime. She has been most unfavorable.
Is there anything that she needs to understand about the experience of feeling left behind at such a young age? Anything you'd like to share with her about that today?
You don't need anybody. You only need yourself and your inner light. And you don't need anyone's approval. What you seek is not on the outside, it's within you.
Very good. Very good. She wants to know why she has such severe asthma and allergies, and especially the allergies since moving back to Switzerland. What's happening there?
Hmm. The asthma is from the previous life, the burning. And the allergies is the body's acclimation. It's not acclimating to this region very well. Um, we see that when she starts to actually work in the healing hut, that the allergies will automatically, they will flow away from her because she will be in the correct vibration again.
Very good. And is there any additional healing that needs to be provided for the lungs to help with that asthma? Or have we cleared up that energy connected to that lifetime?
Mm. The guides will continue to work on that with her in her sleeping hours, and will work to bring about more healing.
Thank you for that. Very good. And anything else that she needs to know or be aware of to help her with the allergies for the time being?
Continue doing what she's doing. Keep a clean life. Keep putting clean things into your body. Yes.
Wonderful. And let's take a look at the knees and see if there's any repair work that we can do to strengthen the knees. Tell me what you see there.
Hmm. Actually, the problem with the knees is because she's having a little bit of difficulty moving forward in life with her project, and she's waiting for this side of life to manifest what she needs to move forward on this side of life. And so she feels it in her knees, and she will feel that for approximately another 2 years.
Okay.
And that is a result of the having to live in two worlds at the same time and split oneself. So she's not completely whole. She's had to sacrifice a part of her spiritual self to operate in this human realm to make that leap.
And you see that continuing for approximately 2 more years.
Yes.
Okay. And if we could just, in the session and even after, just place some extra light in those knees, almost like we're placing just something to strengthen that area, take away a little bit of that discomfort while she's moving towards that higher vibrational life. Very good. She wants to know if there's any suggestions that you have for a healthier lifestyle that suits her. What would you suggest?
Dance more. Very simple. Dance more.
Very simple. And how does that help her?
Movement, release, expression of joy, of laughter, smiling. Dance. She loves to dance.
Wonderful. Very good. And how can she practice more self care? I know we talked a little bit about slowing down, but what else does she need to know?
The dancing. The dancing will help immensely. It will build up her internal fortitude and raise her vibration. And yes, dancing.
Very good. Very good. She wants to know a little bit more about her Egyptian and her Atlantis lifetimes and the abilities that she had in those time periods. What can you tell her about her life in Egypt?
Connect with cats. Look at the eyes of a cat and immerse yourself into them. Understand the power within cats, cats of all types. She has the lynx as a power animal, and this ties into much of her power from that time. She is the substances that she is working with today very much connects into that lifetime of going into altered states and channeling and seeing in other and visiting other dimensions. To continue doing smoking sticks. She makes smoking sticks. The scented smoking sticks. To continue that.
Wonderful. And so she feels like, as she's connected into some of these past lives in Egypt, that she was in some positions of power. What can you tell her about those positions?
When in one of her lifetimes as a female, she was an oracle. And she was highly, highly regarded for her accuracy as an oracle. In another lifetime, she was a seer and reader of the leaves and was a healer.
What are some abilities that she had in those lifetimes that she can tap into in this lifetime?
She already does this when she channels from her guides, from her channeling guide or from her life guide, or sometimes she channels source energy, and she does this. She uses those. She uses them in a different way. This is a different time. This is a different era. And so the gift shows up differently in this timeline than in that timeline. Yeah.
Wonderful. And so, what about her life in Atlantis? Or she may have had multiple lifetimes, but what can you share with her about that time for her?
She was a researcher, and she was researching new ways of raising the vibration of the planet, and how can we use gemstones and crystals and take the crystals and infuse them with energy and place them to release their healing energies, amongst others.
Wonderful. And is she tapping back into those abilities in this life as well with the
No,
crystals?
she does use crystals, yes.
Mhm.
She does crystal therapy, mm, but not, it doesn't relate to this.
Okay,
No.
very good. And what about, she says there was a lifetime as a rainmaker in Africa. What can you tell her about that?
She's very accurate, yes. And uh, this is where her love of song comes from, of toning. And this also blends with her shamanic work when she's drumming and she's singing and she's bringing about healing. And it's about moving the water, the, 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 the vibrations of the water within the physical. And it's her drumming and her singing that helps to shift awareness in people around her.
Very good.
Yes, she's a very lovely singer, and she can calm. She can calm.
Beautiful. Well, I'd like to just do a little bit more healing before we end the session today. I'm just going to ask all of the guides and angels to join me in bringing forward this energy for Maya. And I just want you to begin to imagine a beautiful source light energy at the top of your head. We're going to allow that energy to flow in through the crown, just opening up that crown, making it nice and open, so that that connection between you and your higher guidance and source becomes even stronger. We're going to bring that energy down the body, down into the face, into the head, to every cell. We're going to set the intention that as that energy flows in, it's going to cleanse and clear out those cells, making them nice and bright, full of light. Bringing that energy down into the third eye, we're going to ask the guides to bring forward any activations that are needed today, making sure that third eye is nice and open. Bringing that energy down into the throat. Let's focus on the throat, making sure that we clear away any density. I want you to see any dense, heavy energy just draining out of the body. You can just allow that to drain all the way out. We'll give that back to Gaia, opening and expanding that beautiful energy center, bringing it into perfect balance. Allowing that light to wash over the shoulders once again, just focusing our energy there, making sure that we release any burdens, any weights, knowing that it is not always ours to carry. Bringing that energy down the arms and the hands. We're going to ask for any hand activation, those healing hands to come even more powerful. Feel that energy flow once again into those lungs. I want you to see those lungs becoming so bright and full of light. We are clearing away all that asthma. We are healing those lungs and bringing them back into perfect balance. Feel that energy expand out. We're going to connect that in with the heart, opening that heart space. Just feel that heart getting so bright. Allowing that energy to just melt away any walls, any blocks, any sadness, or any pain. I'm going to just transmute that and bring in more joy, to happiness and love, compassion and forgiveness into that heart space. Feel that energy flow down. It's going to connect with every single organ in the body for the purpose of healing, cleansing, and clearing. Bringing it down, pulling it into that solar plexus. And I want you just to imagine that solar plexus nice and bright, so strong, fully in your power. Feel that energy just flowing down the body, connecting in with this sacral, expanding that energy center, making sure that that energy is spinning, it's cleansed and cleared, and bringing that column of light all the way down the body and connecting it in with the root. And as that energy connects all the way through, we're going to expand that out, connecting with the digestive system, connecting into the spine, into the lower back, and the hips, strengthening all of those areas of the body with that powerful source light, life force energy. Allow that energy to flow all the way down the legs. We're going to flow that into the knees. And I want you to visualize you've got these nice, strong balls of light that are just being placed there in the knees, strengthening those knees, making them nice and strong. We'll ask the guides to help you just make the right connections that you need to make so that you can move forward, releasing any of that discomfort. Bring that energy all the way down to the feet. And as it flows out of the feet, it's going to push out any remaining heavy, dense energies that are in the body. We're going to flow that all the way down, just anchoring it deep within Gaia, creating that nice, strong, grounded connection. And then we want to spread that energy out into the auric field. I'm going to ask the guides and angels to just check for any tears or cracks or holes that need to be repaired. And we're going to fill those in with the bright white light, making that auric field nice and strong. Placing any additional bands of color that are needed around the aura for healing, for protection. Just making sure you are nice and safe and protected in your field of energy. Tell me how that feels or what you notice.
I feel the pulsing within my body. Feels nice.
Wonderful. And is there any additional healing or anything else that we need to address within the body for Maya today?
I think we're all good.
Wonderful. Are there any additional messages or anything else that you'd like for Maya to know in today's session?
Keep spreading the love.
Wonderful. And how were Maya and I connected for this session today? Do we have any connections?
Well, she was meant to find you because you could get through to her, and you've piqued her interest in what you're doing. And you may well be a source to each other for learning different modalities and helping different people.
Well, I can see that already, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful she found me.
Mhm.
Beautiful. I just want to thank all of the beautiful guides that were here with us today, assisting in this session. We are so grateful.